This is my friend Liv. I only met her twice in the UK, but she came to Japan to visit me for most of a week. We intended to meet for just a day, but we started with a party and it just continued from there. On the first night that I met her, we went to an Internations party. The second day, we went to Chinatown in Kobe. This was the tail end of the first weekend of the Lunar New Year celebrations for the Year of the Rabbit in China, and according to Liv, who lives in Vietnam, the Year of the Cat. It was pretty busy for this weekend and it was hard to get to the front of the crowd, so we kind of just watched from the back and got to listen to lots of the music, and we're lucky enough to see some of the little line dances, kind of, thanks to me holding my phone up really high. We met a couple of the guys that we met the previous night from the Internations party. Internations is a meetup group that's organised for expats and natives in any country all around the world. And it's pretty relaxed, so you can just go whenever you fancy. And it's kind of a networking event and just really chilled party where you don't really have to worry about going alone. But I invited my partner and Liv, even though Liv was just here for a week, and that was her second day actually. Look at these cute little lions. I was the only one tall enough to have the privilege to see this, considering I was holding my phone up high on a gimbal. But basically, we had a lovely time in Kobe's Chinatown before somebody told us to head over to the harbour because they were celebrating the Vietnamese New Year there. So enjoy these little clips for a moment. Got to hang out in Kobe for a couple of hours before we were heading to the really northernmost part of Kobe to go to the Fruit and Flower Park, which is this wonderful wedding venue location and retreat with lots of pools and spas, but also there's farms where you can pick strawberries if you like to. Anyway, when we went, there was this wonderful giant illumination. I guess it was our third day together, fourth day? I kind of lost track. But I took her to La Colina in Omihachiman because I live in Shiga. So she was really excited to see all kinds of traditional art and craft related things, as well as see all of the incredible chocolates and desserts and the Baumkuchen cake that is available here. Liv is an avid appreciator of all things handmade, and lots of Studio Ghibli things that are very Japanese, of course, and just quirky sweetness. So here we had a nice time. For a lot of people, when they come to visit somewhere like Japan, they have a tendency to go to the Great Triangle of Tokyo, Osaka and Kyoto. But right from the beginning, Liv was really excited to visit places like Kobe, which is by the sea. I met her in Portsmouth by the sea. But really she wanted to see lots of sweet shrines and get a real sense of what it's like to be a local here in Japan. So I kind of took her to a bit of everything. And I guess if I have willing friends or requests for tours, that's what I'll do with people. Next up, we travelled to Omihachiman Mountain. It was kind of a changeable weather day. We didn't really know how much it would be until this point. We made it to the top of the mountain! Oh my word! It is so cold! Thinking about it now, it was actually pretty dangerous, but there was no sign of it being that bad. And we had no idea what was in store for us when we got back to the town that I live in. Anyway, the views were really something. Na 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 na. I've altered the sound wherever I could here so that I don't really hurt your ears, but we weren't exaggerating. There was no way to exaggerate wind like that. I was holding my phone with both hands. It was really great to show her so many secret little shrine areas, and this little area for collecting stones after people had climbed to the mountain. But of course we took the cable car up, the cable car down.
I love mushrooms so much.
And we did have the pleasure of travelling back down via a golden style route, as it was golden hour. In Japan that actually means prime time on TV, but for me and photographers and English speakers, I think it means as the sun is going down and it peers through the clouds, kissing everything it touches. And then as we arrived just 10 minutes away on the train, it was a snowy wonderland. Look at this. We were delighted to arrive into a snowy wonderland. It was actually the one night that Liv would be staying at my place. We just didn't realise that we'd be waking up into a snow day. So in the calm before the storm, we admired the snow before heading off to near the train station to admire some of the lights, which looked even more spectacular in the snow in their cute little local way. And of course, then we went to karaoke. Now, I'm not really sure what will happen if I make this video public on YouTube. It'll probably get a copyright claim, I suppose, assuming that our singing is half decent, but then I wouldn't necessarily give us that credit. We had a really great time at karaoke, and Liv actually hadn't been to one for a couple of years. I think she said she went to one when she first arrived in Vietnam 2 years back. But I've been living in Japan for 3 and a bit years, so it's kind of second nature for me. Anyway, enjoy. Actually, it's probably best that I do talk over this, though you might be disappointed. I realise that this whole video is a bit more like a home video, but that's a nice thing to do these days, I think. I think that videos are more like mixtapes from a couple of decades ago and before. So there's a look at our happy faces and voices, but just behind us are actually 2 of my co-workers because they couldn't get home to where they live. All of the trains had stopped in basically Shiga and Kyoto for that night, which was all right for us because we had other plans and I lived there. But my co-workers had to go north and south and couldn't really do anything. So we attempted to sing them some quiet songs, but got a little bit carried away because, as you can tell, me and Liv just clicked, despite having only met each other twice in person before. I guess that's what happens when 2 excitable artists hang out together. What do you think? Would you have sang these songs with us? Would you have done as many different voices as we did? As many different faces as we did? One of the cool things about karaoke, especially this one, it's called At Time. You just pay your amount to stay there, and then you stay for half an hour or 4 hours if you like. Free time is about 4 or 5 hours. And then you can get as many soft drinks or ice cream or hot drinks or soup as you like within that time. You can even bring in your own food and things, but the food that's there is pretty cheap. Same goes for drinks. So we had a wonderful time joking around, as you do. Little did we know that outside the snow had been continuing rapidly, so we were quite amused and a bit like school children outside in the snow after. It was so fluffy. Everything was so white. Actually, I've lived here for 3.5 years, but I've never seen such a thing. We set about making a snow tanuki because it was a little easier and less cold than making a full snowman, of course. But I kind of needed a hand. It turns out snow tanukis look kind of scary in the dark, but there were 2 of us, so we had 2 phones to light up that little cutie. You wait till you see it in the morning. There we go. Actually, I found myself having a snow day. I wasn't able to get to work. So we just kept kind of safe, but then went out to grab some lunch. And on the way back, decided to pop into the supermarket. On the third floor is a Daiso, and in the Daiso there are lots of arcade machines. So we just made ourselves an obscure memory of the trip because the days were drawing in. These things are called purikura, and basically they make you look a little strange. Okay, very strange. They make your eyes bigger, your face smaller, your skin paler. Everything that Japanese people would like to see in themselves. And then, ding! The darkness as the snow falls upon us. I had a nice idea for the following day. I managed to get myself to Kyoto. The trains were fine in that direction. Of a place that I'd like to take Liv for dinner, but it closed. Things closed much sooner since coronavirus. However, we did meet up with a friend from the first night, a new friend, and we took ourselves for some vegan ramen. Actually, myself and Liv ordered the vegan ramen, but we put eggs on ours. We exclaimed that we are not proper vegans, just enthusiasts. It was very good. Act natural, guys. We did try to coax my partner out of Osaka to join us. Alas, no luck. So we decided to take ourselves to a place called Round One. Have you heard of Round One? It's this fantastical place for grown-ups to hang out. You can do things like bowling, darts, karaoke, and get all of those drinks and snacks as before. It was a lot of fun. Actually, you know, I was pretty pleased to notice that I won all of the games. I think it was just by chance, and there's not much use being the best of a bad bunch, but I'm pretty happy with that.
Can read Japanese. I can read Japanese. Oh my goodness. Japanese pictures as well. Yes. No. Yes. Press it again, the orange one. Okay.
You can order food and drinks whenever you like. We got a couple of Asahi beers between us, and then we settled down to do our first bowling in years. I hadn't done it since the UK actually, so about 4 years for myself at very least, and the other guys were roughly the same, I think. But we had our shoes on and we were ready to give it a go. Our new friend was maybe the worst, but we all had a good time. There was a sign above that said sweet things like, "Never mind, better luck next time." So, you know, that kept us going. Liv introduced me to the dramatic joy of zooming in on moments, so you see quite a few zooming moments in the following parts of the video. Yeah, a good time was had by all. By the way, these kind of places, I think for free time, it's somewhere between $10 and $20 worth, or about £7 to £15 British money. So about 1,000 to 2,000 yen, Japanese yen. We definitely had our fill of bowling and took ourselves off to get some very nostalgic frozen drinks. They're so frozen. And stock up with some tea as well, before checking out some pretty swish karaoke rooms. We were very surprised to find very big plasma TV screens that were pretty cool. Got ourselves an onion ring tower and a few other bits and bobs, and then just amazed each other singing in all kinds of languages. Well, them. I just sang in English, but I did as many accents as I could. Liv can speak French and Italian, and our friend can speak Chinese and Japanese, as well as English. So that was pretty cool. I cannot yet sing in Japanese, so I'll limit myself to Totoro, Totoro. Well, It's just a bunch of karaoke coming up, but in the interest of not getting myself caught out in a difficult way on YouTube for copyright infringement, even though I don't make money from YouTube, it's probably best I continue talking. So we've got a few minutes left of this video, and I guess I just thought I'd say, Liv, it was the best, and I hope that you like the kind of home video I've made for you. And I hope you're not too embarrassed that I've shared it with other people around the world. I hope anyone that's watched this gets a nice sense of what it might be like to hang out in Japan with a friend, even if you haven't known them long. And if it all looks a little bit intimidating, then don't worry. You can relax, with or without sugar-filled drinks, the colours of the rainbow. It's good fun for all the family. And you won't always be stuck in snowstorms. But if you come in the summer, it could be humid as anything. The best time to come really is spring or autumn. But then you might find yourself in a super shower or typhoon if you're really unlucky. So at round one and similar game centres, the idea is that each time you'd like to use a different floor, a different area, you set yourself up as however many players you are, and then they give you a station next to electronic darts or maybe a billiardo table, and you can play something akin to pool, or set yourself up in one of the karaoke rooms, and then you can just use the little touchpads to order whichever kind of food and drinks that you'd like. I'm not a winner here, even though I've made it seem as if I am. I was just really happy to have hit the board. But like I said earlier, I did win all of the things we played. But it's all about just having fun. Having fun as many times as you can, beating your friends at all of the games. As many people do, Liv took me up on my recommendation of the Millennials in Kyoto on Kawaramachi, right in the city centre next to all of the shopping. And the next morning, it was snowing yet furthermore, and this was in Kyoto, which was pretty rare. I made sure I left myself 4 hours to get back to work, even though it would have only taken 1, but I didn't want to risk anything. Obligatory fluffies here. Aren't they so great? And then our final meal was in this gorgeous place that has jazz and calligraphy and animations and art and local organic vegan food prepared in the most beautiful way. And our friend had never been to this place before, and it was one of Liv's final meals in Japan. So I thought I'd take her somewhere memorable with garnishes worth taking. You basically stole the other one from the picture.
Did I?
Yeah. Actually, you can see a full video of vegan ramen uzu in Kyoto, also on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will consider coming to Japan for all of the fun in the future. This was a pretty laid-back occasion, but we loved hanging out together. It continued to snow even after she left. I'll leave you with a bit of cup wisdom. We all want to stay charming, whatever age we become, don't we? Thank you for watching. Check out linktr.ee/MissKendalJames to support me and see what else I make.